Well, folks, here we are again for the weekly forecast. Unfortunately, I will not be putting a forecast out for you today as I'm up in northern Michigan doing the family orchard deal that I do every year at this time. So I thought it was the perfect opportunity to give us an update of where we stand in terms of moisture, particularly examining the month of April, which was highly unusual. Last year we were exceptionally warm. This year we're exceptionally wet and cold. And the core area of precipitation across the United States was centered into the major portion of the Corn Belt. And you will notice that precipitation totals from eastern Iowa all the way through Indiana, southern Michigan, and extending backward through most of Missouri. We had at least 6 inches of moisture during the month, and within these areas of eastern Iowa, western portions of Illinois, and then southwestern Michigan, over 8 inches of moisture occurred during the month. Here in eastern Nebraska, of course, we did see some good precipitation, but again, those totals dropped off as we headed west. And particularly the southwestern corner of the state, extending all the way down into eastern New Mexico, has been especially dry, and we're not really seeing the significant relief from this drought yet in this region. And it is a concern, it's something we'll have to pay attention to, because if this area continues to miss out on the precipitation, we always worry about this starting to expand as we get into the heart of the growing season. Now let's examine eastern Nebraska. We had some significant moisture across the eastern 1/4 of the state, looking anywhere from 4 inches up to 6 inches across the southeast and isolated spots in northeastern Nebraska. As we got into the eastern sandhills, we were looking at some fairly decent totals, but immediately as we moved toward the southwestern sandhills into the northwestern part of the southwestern corner of the state, less than an inch of moisture, and this is what the prime area right now that is still containing D4-like conditions. In terms of temperatures, exceptionally cold during the month of April. The core area of that cold centered over the Dakotas, and of course we had an existing snowpack that held on almost to the very end of April, and any systems that were coming across the United States were tapping that cold air, sitting over that snowpack and pulling them southward toward the Gulf of Mexico. If we examine Nebraska proper, we'll notice the coldest temperatures, of course, were across the northern part of the state, much cooler conditions across the south. We were looking anywhere from 6 to 8 degrees above or below normal across the north to around 4 to 6 degrees below normal across the south. Thankfully, we had a few warm days at the end of the month, and that's what kept us from being a top 3 coldest on record. We're probably going to fall into top 5 to top 7 coldest on record. Now, in terms of the outlook for the month of May by the Climate Prediction Center, an abrupt change from what it was 15 days ago. Where this area was shown above normal temperatures, we're now slipping to show below normal temperatures, and of course the below normal temperatures up across the Red River Valley. The warmth is slided to the west. In terms of precipitation, the models are indicating eastern Nebraska will see above normal moisture in all of Iowa, so this could further complicate the planting delay issues we've seen from the very cold April and wet conditions. So we'll have to pay attention whether this happens, but it may be a very, very problematic planting season during the month of May here in eastern Nebraska.